So today we are starting our new unit, and this whole unit is all about quadrilaterals. So quadrilaterals are any four-sided shape. So I have 6 examples of quadrilaterals up here. I'm going to go over them quickly. The first couple of topics are just all about which quadrilaterals are which and what name that we associate with them, okay? So the first one that I have is a classic rectangle. So rectangles are special because all of their angles are right angles. We talked about angles at the beginning of the year. I know it's been a while, but right angles, they make that perfect square, okay? They're right exactly 90 degrees. So all of their angles are square angles. Also, something about rectangles, the opposite sides are the same length. So these two are the same, and these two are the same. I'm showing you that these two are the same, they're longer, and these two are the same and they're shorter. All right, the next one is a square. We're all very familiar with squares. They are almost exactly like rectangles, except squares, all of their sides are the exact same length. So they would all be 4 centimeters long. They also all have those perfect square or right angles. So rectangle is basically just a longer square. The top and bottom are the same length and the sides are the same length, but they're not all 4 the same. All right, next up is a trapezoid. So trapezoids, they look like squares if these two sides tilted and went out a little bit, okay? Now these two sides, they're going to be the same length, but the top and bottom, we can already tell they're not the same. This guy's shorter and this guy's longer. So that's what's special about trapezoids, okay? None of these are square angles. They all kind of angle out and these angle in. All right, next we have a rhombus. And a rhombus is like a square, but instead of being straight, these sides angle in, okay? So it's like a square because all of the sides are the same length. But you can already tell these angles, they're not perfect square angles. They're curved, okay? So it's like a square because all the sides are the same length, but it's not like a square because they are not square angles. They're curved angles. Now, I had these two actually all 4 next to each other because a rhombus is like this and all the sides are the same length. A parallelogram is like a rectangle where it's just longer. So these two, top and bottom, are the same length and the sides are the same length. But again, not square angles. These are round curved angles. All right, the last one I'm going to talk about is this guy. He doesn't necessarily have a name, even though he kind of looks like an arrowhead, but it's a parallelogram because if I count the sides, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or not a parallelogram, I'm sorry, a quadrilateral. Any shape that has 4 sides is a quadrilateral. Now, what's special about this one, and the reason I put it up here, is because they have something called a concave angle. Concave angle is when 2 sides come together, but they go inwards instead of side or is curving out, okay? So all of these shapes have convex angles because the angles meet out here, they meet out here. These are all convex. Now these sides, they go inward, which makes them concave angles. So this is kind of the basics for quadrilaterals. You'll see a lot of these on 15-1 and 15-2. And then it's going to get a little bit trickier and then kind of confusing you a bit with the side lengths and things like that. But starting off, here is what you need to know. Let me know if you have any questions.